What's up, guys? Welcome to a special bonus episode of Let's Play Duelist of the Roses. So, it's been a while since the last episode. I know we finished the game earlier this year. I just want to say I really appreciate everybody who watched, everybody who gave any feedback, any comments on the Let's Play. I really do appreciate any kind of input you guys had on that. So, after we complete the main game, we have the ability to go and make our own custom maps in the multiplayer feature here. So if we want to fight ourselves as Deckmaster K, or if we want to fight an opponent. So we have all these user-created maps right here, and we can go in and pretty much do whatever we want with them. I just wanted to demonstrate this really quick. If you guys have any suggestions for any kind of really creative maps that I should make and try, let me know. But yeah, there's all kinds of really cool things you can do with this. You can basically make it any way you want to. You can make, you know, just all kinds of crazy nonsense, but not going to be taking advantage of that for now. What I do want to do, though, as I said I would demonstrate this after the main Let's Play, I wanted to show off all of the password cards that you can unlock. Now, every time you finish the main campaign, it gives you a password. It gives you one at random, and you really never know which one you're going to get, of course. So I have built a second deck. As you can see, you can have up to 3 decks at a time, A, B, and C. In order for you to start making that deck, you pretty much have to have a leader to put in it, otherwise you can't even really get away with it. Even if you have 40 cards in there, if you don't have a deck leader, you can't launch. So, our deck A is still our Empress Judge Warrior deck that we finished the game with. Deck B, on the other hand, is going to be all the cards we got through passwords, as well as some additional just strong cards I had to throw in there for filler, because there weren't actually enough password cards to fill up the entire deck. And actually, I just got 2 more cards I'm going to add. I just got through trade, so we're going to throw in a Red Eyes. We're going to throw in Dark Piercing Light, which is an interesting spell card. So I tried to optimize this for basically just showing off all the cards I think are really cool or have a unique gameplay mechanic. And now that we're at a full 40 card deck, we're going to battle ourselves or duel ourselves, and we're going to demonstrate a lot of the. You know, you can edit your life points or your star recharge rate. So if you wanted to have a full summoning cost right at the beginning of the duel and have it replenished every turn, you could do that, and just be able to drop your most powerful monsters if you want to, or you can duel with 8,000 life points if you wanted to, but we're not going to be taking advantage of that. Let's just go to a really interesting map. Let's see. That'll do. That's a pretty interesting map. So because obviously this is recorded live, I have no clue what's going to happen. We could get utterly steamrolled here, and a lot of these cards are very powerful. So I chose Command Knight or Tactical Warrior as the deck leader because, for one, we already had levels on her, so she could already become a deck leader. And then secondly, she is a password card, so it actually fit quite well. So not really a whole lot I can go into right now. Elf Slide is a power-up card that increases the power of monsters with elf in their name, which I don't know if that'll really apply. I don't know if we can even use that in Fairy King Truesdale because it doesn't have elf in its name. Mystical Capture Chain spellbinds all fiend monsters on the field, so that might be kind of interesting. I may go ahead and just get rid of that and throw that down. Again, even if it didn't make for consistency, I still wanted to include every password card in the deck so we could demonstrate them, and so I could go over why these cards are so obscene. Now granted, I know Elf Slide is not that obscene of a card, but if you're playing with a fairy deck and you're early on in the game, like you grind off of Taya to get a lot of your fairy cards, then you probably have a pretty strong deck. So let's see what he made there with that fusion. So he got rid of Ancient Trait Enlightenment, which is a really good card, and Green Kappa, made Bean Soldier, and then made... It's probably, I can't think of the monster's name off the top of my head. Alright, Horn of the Unicorn increases Horned Dark monsters by 500 points. So that's interesting, I guess. We're going to put down Gravity Bind. Gravity Bind is a very powerful trap card. It has a very high deck cost as well. Queen of Autumn Leaves, that's the card they made. So not very threatening, and has 1800 attack. There's nowhere it can really get its rain bonus. I think it'll actually decrease its power on the Wasteland as well. We're kind of moving up here slightly. Maybe we'll get Aqua Dragon to terraform the terrain here. Fairy King Truesdale, you can get her as a deck leader as well, potentially. And when it's in face-up defense, it increases plant-type monsters' attack, which I don't think that would work on the opposing teams. Yeah, all of mine, so maybe I want to go ahead with Dark Piercing Light and set up something nice here. Maybe there's a trap back there that I want to avoid. So Dark Piercing Light, if I didn't... It's actually a pretty low deck cost card, only has 15 deck cost. And if I didn't say so before during the main Let's Play, what that does is it just flips up all of your opponent's cards so you get to see what they are. And a lot of time what they'll do is when the AI will go and check off all of their cards like they do at the end of their turn, they'll end up activating all of the spell cards, which is good because sometimes if they have a ritual they're saving up for, they'll activate it and they won't have the conditions right to meet it, so it'll just fizzle out. So I was right there with the monsters they made. Let's see if they continue to move it in. Earthshaker is going to be interesting. I'm a little worried about that. Okay, so it, sure enough, still has... It does get a terrain disadvantage on the Wasteland. So Earthshaker is actually going to, well, do exactly that. It's going to randomly scramble up the tiles on the map. And it gets rid of the Labyrinth terrain. So that actually really changed the game quite a bit. It moved around some of the placements of some of the cards. It actually brought us a lot closer to their deck leader. So as crazy as this map was before, it's that much crazier. So that card can be very chaotic. I've never really had it be all that useful. Harpy's Feather Duster obviously is an infamous card in the TCG for being obscenely abusive and, well, banned since the beginning of time, with a whopping 70 deck cost. I don't really think that it's that good in this, because you'd have to know that it's Regeki and Harpy's Feather Duster destroy things in a vertical and horizontal line out from where you activate it, but you'd have to know that what you're hitting is a spell or trap for Harpy's Feather Duster to really work. So, not really all that keen on that. Let's see. I need to try to get some damage in and try to reveal some more cards here. If I get Aqua Dragon, this duel is pretty much done. I actually don't want the duel to end really quickly, though, because I want to demonstrate as many of these cards as possible. Some of them I'll demonstrate, some of them my opponent will, so I just want to make sure I get through all of them. If there's any of them I don't get around to demonstrating, I'll be sure to mention them in another bonus episode, because there will be a few more. Alright, Royal Decree. I'm not sure if I want to put that down quite yet, because... Okay, I'm not trying what that is. Moria Dragon. Moria Dragon was not a password card, but I put it in there because it's possible to fuse that with another monster and create Red Eyes. Although, it's a very specific monster that is required to do that. It's Taiho number 2, and I honestly don't have that, so I couldn't actually make it that way, so I had to trade a Red Eyes over from my other save file. Alright, I'm getting kind of sick of this, so we're gonna ditch some of this stuff here. Do I want to put Royal Decree on the board? No. Okay. Interestingly, Fairy King Tuesdale is a plant, so it's not actually a fairy. It wouldn't gain any advantage on the mountain or anything like that. It would actually gain a disadvantage on the Wasteland as we discovered as well. Alright, Goblin Fan, that was a very interesting card. It would have been worth mentioning. I'm sorry I didn't actually mention this in the final battle, but it actually is pretty useful against the final boss because it'll negate a direct attack, or it will invert the effect of Ruryoku and inflict damage to my opponent instead, which is pretty awesome. So if I had had that, of course it's password card, so I couldn't have had it. And then Magician of Faith actually does the exact same thing that she does in the real game. So she brings back a spell from the graveyard, which is pretty nice. I don't think there's anything I want to bring back right now. Yeah, definitely not anything right now, but that'll be useful later on, I suppose. Let's go ahead and put Kaiser Dragon down. Let's see what we can do. I don't want to waste Red Eyes yet, because really, aside from being just a 2400 beater, he's in there for a very particular reason, which I'll be showing off hopefully later on, if my opponent doesn't get to it first, God forbid. Okay, we've met the requirements, so I think I'm going to just put Goblin Fan down. Ooh, that might be bad. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So Serpentine Princess, we demonstrated that earlier on in the Let's Play, and that increases all reptile monsters by quite a lot, by 900 points, so that's a pretty abusive card. It's spellbound, luckily, and it doesn't have enough attack to get over Kaiser Dragon, although, who knows, it might try anyway. Oh, and there's Ciaru. Ciaru is a powerful Dragon-type monster that gains an attack bonus, I think, on Fiend-type monsters. It's a pretty common ability. Oh, that might be bad. I wonder what it brought back. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, it used Grave Robber? Or did it use... Oh no, it's Magician of Fate. What am I saying? Use Magician of Fate to bring back a spell from its graveyard, so we'll see what that is. In the meantime, we're going to create my favorite monster in the game. We're going to fuse Red Eyes and Meteor Dragon, and we're going to create the almighty Meteor Black Dragon. That's right, my favorite monster in the entire game, and he's finally hit the board. I've been waiting a long time to demonstrate this guy. So we're going to go ahead and run over Ciaru with it and deal some good damage. Man, this guy is massive. Pretty easy to make too, and this and as well as in Forbidden Memories is much more feasible to make than I'm gonna actually move my deck later just in case I think it's a terrain bonus on water, which I don't believe it is. I don't think reptiles actually gain a terrain bonus anywhere, but just to be safe. Yeah, Meteor Black Dragon. It's much more feasible to make it than it is to make Black Skull Dragon, and it's stronger than Black Skull Dragon anyway. This is true in Duelist of the Roses and in Forbidden Memories, because Meteor Dragon is far easier to get than Summon Skull is, which you wouldn't think would be the case, being Summon Skull is such an iconic monster. But yeah, it's a pain in the butt, especially because, let's see, I'm probably going to have to take out Serpentine Princess with Meteor Black Dragon just to make things a little easier. I could always bait out Serpentine Princess to attack Birdface and then swing at it with Meteor Black Dragon as well. Let's see what happens. Oh, that sucks. Swordsman from a foreign land, which, like I said, is a password card. We did have it during the main campaign, but it can be pretty abusive. I like it because it's definitely a very effective means of getting rid of a lot of problem cards. But yeah, Summon Skull cannot be obtained normally in this game. You can create him with a fusion in... Oh no! Oh no! That's not good. Well, that's what Dark Hole's good for, as if you guys already know what that does, I'm sure. So much for our strongest monster. Oh well. I can still technically finish him off. I can either do it with Blast Sphere or Barrel Dragon. I think it's probably safe I do it with Blast Sphere, because I'm not sure if Barrel Dragon will self-destruct, because it does only one card in the field for him to target. So we're going to go ahead and do it with Blast Sphere. We're just going to finish him off. Alright. This will be a good opportunity to get some multiples of some of these cards, although my opponent didn't really get to use a lot of them, so there's not that much we're going to be able to get. We got another Swordsman from a foreign land, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's try this one more time and see if we can't demonstrate the rest of the cards. So we got our own copy of Earthshaker and our own copy of Dark Hole this time around, which is kind of nice. Let's actually go ahead and do that. Let's just scatter this map around. We picked a different map this time. I really like this one. It has that boundary of Crush there, and hopefully we're going to scatter that around and make it a little bit less chaotic. They must have just done this when designing Yugi's map, because Yugi's map is friggin' random as hell like this. So that's kind of nice. That definitely... Even, you know, as with the mountain territory is pretty much negligible now because it's so far apart from all the action. Yeah, as I was saying about Meteor Black Dragon, In Forbidden Memories, the same thing, where you can actually earn Meteor Black Dragon as a prize card for defeating a certain opponent and getting an S rank. Basically, if you defeat him in a certain amount of turns. So you can just play Meteor Black Dragon without even having to fusion summon him. But Red Eyes and Meteor Dragon will also become available through those same means. So it's just far more feasible to do so than it is to... it's far more feasible to do that than it is to get Summon Skull. Summon Skull is just very difficult to come by. So I'm actually going to get rid of Elslight and Horn of the Unicorn and put out Green Kappa. Green Kappa, if I didn't say so before, there's another monster in the game that does the same thing that he does. He gains attack. His attack becomes equal to that of the strongest monster on the field. So he is probably going to become the same attack as Ciaru, because Ciaru is probably the most powerful monster on the field right now. Yep, sure enough. So at least we know there's nothing else on the field that can get over Kaiser Dragon. It might have been a misuse of him, but that and Sword Stalker are both some really good warrior-type monsters that can be taken advantage of. But Green Kappa, being a low deck cost monster, is pretty abusive. A lot of times if you have a card that has the exact same ability... so Mimicat, that might be helpful. Bring back Ciaru. Can I bring back Ciaru? Or I could bring Green Kappa back again. Let's see. Let's go ahead and bring Ciaru back with this. So Mimicat is basically the ultimate... It's basically Grave Robber and Monster Reborn combined. You can basically bring back any card with it, and it's extremely abusive. Let's go ahead and tackle whatever this is. It's... whatever it was. It was Change of Heart, another incredibly abusive card. But yeah, a lot of times you'll get cards that are monsters that have the same effect as something that's a spell or a trap. Like I said, for instance, Magician of Faith has the same effect as, say, Grave Robber, but it's much, much lower deck cost because the deck cost of a monster is only determined by their attack and defense. Whereas, we have Exodia's Head, which you can get as a password card. And Exodia's Head, as you can see, the effect of Exodia only works if you have it as your deck leader, so we basically would just establish this card in the field and have it survive enough turns until it finally gains a rank, and then you can actually use Exodia for its intended purpose. But we've already demonstrated that against 2 opponents, actually, as a matter of fact. So we're ganging up on him with our dragons as usual. Well, not really usual for this file. We were using primarily warriors, but definitely a nice change of pace with the dragons there. Another thing I'm worried about is I also put a copy of Dark Magician in this deck, and if he drops that Dark Magician while we're on the darkness terrain like this, we could be in rough shape. So just in case I don't get a chance to demonstrate them, there's a couple of other monsters that are really critical to... I'm going to actually grind this out just a little bit more so I can potentially demonstrate some of these cards. Oh, Gravity Bind. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So... we baited it out with our Kaiser Dragon. So, Ancient Tree of Enlightenment and Temple of Skulls are 2 cards that absolutely cripple the final boss on the Red Rhoticide, who uses the powerful spells and traps, because each of them negate spells and traps respectively when you have them face up on the field. So what will happen is your opponent will not, again, because you can fool the AI, your opponent will realize that, well, he won't realize actually that he cannot hide behind his spells and traps anymore, and he will continue to bait you into his traps only to have him... Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I may have just made things very difficult on myself here. We'll see. I'll explain what just happened there in a second. So, that complicates things. Moving Exodia's Head. Let's have Exodia's Head actually attack. That would be pretty funny. We still have him kind of boxed in, but there's crushed territory over there now. So yeah, the AI will think that it can still activate its traps if you have something like Royal Decree or Ancient Tree of Enlightenment enabled, when you can't. And so it'll just allow you to run over its traps thinking that they will still work. The difference, though, with Temple of Skulls negating spells is the AI will not activate them. It actually knows better this time around, which is interesting. Alright, so I think we have him completely boxed in here. So the monster we just killed with our other Kaiser Dragon there was Slate Warrior, And Slate Warrior is an Immortal type monster. And if I haven't talked about those yet, the Immortal type monsters are an incredibly powerful race of monsters that are the most powerful in the game, actually. They have some incredibly abusive effects, some very unique abilities that really go against your normal sensibilities with how you think this game is played. And you can only acquire them by having a deck leader who has a secret ability called Find Card, and it allows you to basically find those types of monsters and some other difficult prize cards you can get in certain maps throughout the campaign. I can't really demonstrate that, unfortunately, now, because I don't have a deck leader that has that ability in any of my files. Only certain types of monsters earn that. I think spellcasters earn it pretty early on. Fairies earn it pretty early on. So if you're going to dedicate a lot of time into grinding a deck leader to learn that hidden ability, make sure it's a type that's compatible with it, because, for instance, dragons, not compatible with it. So I wasted hundreds of hours trying to... we can get another Slate Warrior in the graveyard slots. So monsters that include the Immortal type... ooh, we got another Sword Stalker as well. Monsters that are other Immortal types include... we got one. Electromagnetic Bagworm, Carrot Idol, Moisture Creature, Regress Lever, and other monsters like that. And they all have the same unique ability of when you kill them, they turn the terrain into crushed terrain. Similar to how Dark Plant does. All of them inherently have this ability, and they gain a power bonus on Crush. But they all have other abilities, such as Carrot Idol is one of the most abusive ones because it has 3100 defense, and when you place it in face-up defense, it draws all other cards on the map one space towards it. It's ridiculous. So that's it for this bonus episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any more questions about some of the other password cards, just let me know. And I will be sure to demonstrate any Immortal monsters I get if we grind up for it. Me and Michael are going to get together again and do a couple more bonus episodes, such as the all-female deck. I might do my dragon deck for my other profile so I can show off some things like Blue Eyes and Trihorn Dragon and more power-ups on Meteor Black Dragon and that kind of thing. So if you guys have any requests for any kind of custom decks you want to see or any custom maps, just let me know. I'll be happy to fulfill that while I'm recording these. And I will see you